Because of want of time. The day is fast spent. I'm here on behalf of the GoJade Farms Limited. It's a farm that is going green. That is why it's GoJade. We are here to support the Dcmf on her empowerment drive to empower the members of the Dcmf into sustainable ventures. So today we are here to look at sustainable urban farming, a path to food security. Next slide, ICT. And this talk is tied to the decision theme for this year. What interests us so much is the second to the last line in Jeremiah 17, verse 8. And it said that it has no worries in year of drought. Food security points to having plenty even when there is drought. It's insecurity that says that there is not enough. So what then is food security? Next slide, please. Food security simply means having enough. You can imagine when your children come for holiday, somebody would always say, I don't want to eat that. Are you going to use a cane and force the child to eat it? The child would definitely not eat it. Food security says that you have enough of various food in different quantities, in different quality, in good quality, than that the family can eat. That is what food security is. I am a public health physician, a consultant public health physician, so you understand the angle I'm coming from. A family that does not have enough food is actually a family in trouble. So that's why today we are looking at food security. The question then is this true for you as a member of the Dcmf that your family has food security? We also know that current realities have made things look somehow. A bag of rice is now 130,000. The egg we used to buy for 30 naira is now 250 naira. A lot of things have changed. While the PG was here changing the landscape, outside here, the landscape was changing in a different direction. The economy went upside down. That is where we are today. So it has thrown family into food insecurity. And with family being in food insecurity, it means that their physical, mental, and well-being is also hampered. So what then are the sustainable food solutions that we require? Next slide. So we present to you today urban farming. Urban farming is one of these sustainable solutions we talk about. It's just one of them, and a viable one indeed. Urban farming is practical, using average residential space around us. What space do you have? A lot of us here, we have land that we are even paying their bookies to look after. We hear calls, somebody has encroached on your land, and the land is closed. That's the kind of space we are talking about. Some of us, we have planted beautiful flowers that we cannot even harvest anything from. Those flowers can be turned to produce something edible. That is what we are talking about. Some of us here, when they say they need eggs to eat, we get worried. When you calculate the number of eggs that will make that meal, you question where the money will come from. The children don't understand your calculation. But your wife does, but she must follow her children. Her children want to eat. What are you going to do? But if you have few chicken laying eggs for you, I tell you, you won't have that as one of your headaches. They are gone. So urban farming tends to all that. So it's also called backyard farming, urban gardening, homesteading. But is urban farming new? I would say no. We have celebrated farmers in the Dcmf. My brother, Sasoni, is a celebrated urban farmer. And I would give an applause to the Dcmf. The Dcmf is also an urban farmer. The Dcmf have a pig farm and they are looking at fish farms soon. So you can see that all members of the DCMF are also urban farmers. So my task this afternoon is to introduce us to this wonderful solution, which is urban farming. I will give an introduction that can get us rooted into it. Now, urban farming is revolutionary. It's changing the way we think. We are urban dwellers. We think of white-collar job. We think of salaries. But those are collapsing very fast because salary is not holding the salary earner anymore. The NLC has always said that your salary can no longer take you home. That is where we are today. So for the urban farmer, we are revolutionizing it. You should start to think of what else to do to augment that salary, and with practical solution. And it is gaining global traction. If you go to Facebook today, people are talking of urban farming. Last week, the wife of our president, Oluremi Tinubu, was trying to pioneer urban farming around the country, and all the wives of the governors also picked that up. So it tells us that urban farming is a sustainable venture. Now, what are the benefits of urban farming? When you have an urban farm, when you have a small thing you are doing, even if it is ugu that you have planted by your side, you would have ugu. If you have planted yam, when you harvest your yam, at that period that the yam is lasting, you will have yam. If you have plantain, you will have enough. So that's food security. And we talk of food that you are harvesting right from your backyard. It means that it does not go through that transportation from Lokoja to Port Harcourt. You are harvesting it fresh. Those of us who have practiced Hallelujah diet, you know that Hallelujah diet preaches one core thing, that the juice from the plant is where what heals the human being is. So when you harvest it fresh and cook that ugu, is different from the ugu you bought in the market. We are all testifiers in the house. Let's go to the next slide. Now, the other benefit is that we have to break the chain of poisons in our food chain. Today, we watch on social media, you see that some chicken, they even pump them up to get big. Some chickens are even receiving hormones such that our women take them, they are not able to have children as at when they need. 8 years ago, CNN reported that the tomato paste, that once you put tomato paste in the can, it corrodes the can over time, and it releases a particular toxin that causes infertility in women. Are we going to still be patronizing those poisons, and we buy them with so much money? So urban farming brings that solution that you can plant your own. You determine whether you are using artificial fertilizer or you are using poultry dung, whatever you are using, at least you know what goes into the mouth. Positive environmental impact. When we plant beautiful things around our compound, we know from primary biology that plant gives out oxygen and plant takes in carbon dioxide. That way is already cleansing the environment. So it's a good thing to practice. We also know that, like for me, I have self-sufficiency in coconut. I don't buy coconut. We have not bought coconut from the market for the past 10 years because we just have 2 trees in the compound and they are giving us enough. We make coconut oil, which is very beneficial because it has high quantity of polyunsaturated fatty acid, and that's good for your heart. All right. We also have sufficiency in plantain. 2 years ago, I was driving and I called a banana seller. Please, I want to buy banana. Brought 4 miserable banana and told me these are 500. And I got challenged. I said, if I buy this banana, I will eat alone. My family will not eat. So how do we get self-sufficiency? I went and bought 6 suckers. And today we are self-sufficient in banana. We don't buy banana. We have not bought banana for the past 1.5 years. If you go to my house and I have banana, I have on the tree, I have in the house, I have banana everywhere. I'm even a marketer of banana just because I couldn't buy banana that would go around for me and my family. I just had to innovate. Now, there's one important thing I want to say before we drop this slide. Urban farming helps for good health. We have Dcmf. A lot of us are getting retired. When we retire, is it newspaper we should be looking at? The newspapers vendors used to supply before, the vendors are getting rarer. So we have issues. And this phone we have is the most disastrous equipment that has ever been invented. This phone damages the eye. If you use phone in the night, when you wake up in the morning, what do you have? You have headache, terrible headaches. But urban farming, my dear sirs, you can always go and talk to, in farming we talk to plants. You go to that, Sir Sonny can understand me. When you go to there, they do well, they do well. Others, they eat, they eat. I will kill you, I will eat you.
So you have 9 minutes more.
We talk to them. So that's what urban farming brings. It makes you move around, burn the calories, and be active mentally. Next slide, please. Now, urban farming is for everyone. I'm a consultant public health physician with the University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital. But I'm here as a farmer. So it's for everybody. Whether you're educated or uneducated, landlord or tenant, you are a farmer already. Next slide. Now, how do we get started with urban farming? We need to cut off that tea. We need to cut it up. That's the most expensive tea because motivation to start. A lot of us want to start. A lot of us have the land. A lot of us will have the capital, but that tea is a limitation. Let's drop it today. The other thing is, you need to choose. Once you have decided you want to start, you must choose a space. I'm a tenant. Where do I farm? That's the biggest question, but you have space. All right? As we go on, you will see the spaces that people use for urban farming. The next, after you have gotten a space, you must choose. What do I do? Do I do crop farming? Do I do animal? It is your space that will determine what you will do. Now, you can design. Once you have what to do, you can design how your plant will be. You can see the design there. Let's go to the next slide, please. Now, once you have set up your farm, you need to imbibe good practices. This is where you get a mentor. My mentor is Engineer Sylvester. He has mentored me in a lot of things. When I go to the association event, I listen to him speak. I get motivated to do something. But it's not in urban farming that is my mentor. And he doesn't even know he's my mentor. Some of us must have mentors that don't know, but we admire them from a distance. So you get a mentor. A mentor can help you fix yourself in the farm and do something right. Let's go to the next slide, please. All right. I have provided this. The DS, that's Sir Ogwebo, will share this letter with us. You can see that there are things you can plant in the next 30 days. You can harvest them. So let's start the journey today. Next slide, please. Now, if you can even see for livestock, chicken. If we buy 4 chicken today, we can have good Christmas and good New Year. And the chicken will be ready. Just 5 weeks to 8 weeks, the chicken will be ready. So we can start something today. It's not late. Those who we used to beg money, they are now also begging money. So we must also innovate so that we don't break our backs. Next slide. Now, there are different types of urban farming we have heard. We can see various parts. Some people talk about rooftop farming and aquaponics, farming without soil. Yes, but I want to summarize it that whatever we do, we can break them down into just 3 basic techniques of urban farming. Next slide. Now, these are the 3 main techniques. You can farm them in any type you like. We have container farming or bag farming. We have in-ground farming. We have raised bed farming. Let's just take a few intros into each of them. Okay, in container or bag farming, we use containers, especially if you don't have enough land, especially where the land you have is not your own. You can farm in container, all right? If you have interlocked your compound, you can also farm in container. Now, this is a tomato planted inside a container, in this case, tire. And this tomato fruited at a point, 98 fruits at one point. The harvest was awesome. I had this in my compound. This, you can see hot pepper. Somebody just put them in bags and ran the pavement. They are not even on the ground. Ran concrete pavement, and they are doing very well. This is my daughter, Emanuela, trying to pioneer a new project. She calls it windowsill farming. So in her hostel, she's marketing the idea that we can make our spaces greener by planting something. So she has her cups. She planted mint, and she harvests the mint and uses it for mint tea. Wonderful innovation, and a lot of students are picking that up. This is bag farming. I remember I posted this a few days ago, and that generated interest in this talk today. This has gained traction around us. People have found successfully. In fact, it's of note that in a plot of land, you can produce more yam in bags than when you plant them directly. So can we begin to think? You can hire somebody's land without making any hole, and the person will be happy for it at the end of the day. Now, we also have planting in ground. Planting in ground is applicable when you are digging the ground and you are planting. We know that most of the yam we plant are usually we dig the ground and we plant. The trees we plant, most of them we dig and we plant. There are several other things we can dig the ground to plant. We have made a list there. Next slide. Now, these are tomatoes we planted in my compound. We planted them in ground, okay? And we planted just 48 stands. This is our weekly harvest. This is our weekly harvest from 48 stands of tomato. Very successful project. This tomato fruited for 2.5 months. And for the first time, we discovered the quantity of tomato we eat. When you buy tomato, you will just rationalize it, this is enough. But when you have tomato, you will know that you eat much more than that. And tomato has antioxidants. It has beta-carotene, good for the eye. So there are a lot of benefits when you enter urban farming. Next slide. We also adventured into cucumber farming. We made a greenhouse structure for it in my compound. And man, the harvest was awesome. As you can see from the next slide, okay, this is a harvest we get every 5 days from cucumber. Are you telling me we can finish this cucumber? We couldn't. We started supplying them. We started looking for market for it. Small money enters the family from urban farming. And that small money, if you give it to your wife, who is a good finance manager, they can save this money and they will use it to buy a bag of rice every Easter and Christmas. Just try it. These women are good managers. They will not bring out that money even when there is crisis. They know how to do it. Now, we did the butternut scotch, and we harvested quite a lot. I shared this in one of the Dcmf events. And this is an exotic fruit. If you go to Spa, you will see how much they sell this plant. We also pioneered it, and it can grow here. It's not from our side. This is the Oyibo apple we buy along the road that is not affordable anymore. We use technology. We planted them using some barrier. We planted in crop first. That apple tree is 3 years old now. It's going to fruit around 5 years. We are waiting for it. In fact, everybody is excited, looking forward to that. Now, we also looked at in-ground farming. We plant corn around here in ground, but we planted sweet corn. That sweet corn that they use in making fried rice. Very sweet. I don't know what word to use to qualify something as sweet as this corn. We planted it here in Port Harcourt. It did awesome. All right? So let's also look at raised bed farming.
Yeah, begin to conclude, sir.
Raised bed farming, thank you. I will be done in 5 minutes. Raised bed farming is another innovation. What it does is that it brings up the land to a level whereby you can achieve certain things, as you can see in the next slide. It saves you from weeding, it helps you conserve water. It also makes a beautiful environment for you. That's what raised garden. This is one of our farms, and you can see what we did there. It's fully irrigated, okay? So we don't water them. We just open the valve and it waters. So nobody carries anything. Next slide. We did an innovation last year to early this year. We grew cabbage in Port Harcourt. You can see the beautiful farm. It's a farm that you would like to go and just sit down and watch. This is a 2-month-old cabbage. You can see the fruit already inside it. Wonderful to behold. Won't you be proud to own some of these things? So I invite you, come back to urban farming. Now let's talk about the last part, which is livestock farming. You know, livestock farming, especially egg farming, I advise you, is a must-do. Let's try and do something about it. Next slide. Now, we raised 35 beds, only 35 beds in our compound, and that 35 beds, they give us as much as 35 eggs a day. It's the first time I'm farming chicken and I'm getting 100% lay. 100%. And we sell 1 crate every day because we can't eat everything. And we keep 5 eggs, and yet we can't finish the 5 eggs. We still sell part of it. But it's a steady, soft income for the family. It comes in regularly, and just 35 eggs. Everybody in my family is now a farmer because of the beauty. We also raised, during Corona, we raised these colored birds. They did very well. We didn't lack protein during Corona lockdown. We also are pioneering rabbit farming. You can see our rabbit, they don't eat much, all right? And within 5 months, you can slaughter the rabbit and eat. I hate people calling my rabbit Oyibo rabbit. They are just rabbits. Because when you call it Oyibo rabbit, you sort of devalue it, you know, because the meat is tasty, it has less fat, good for diabetics and hypertensives. All right, so introducing you to our farm system, the Gojet Farm, all what we do is that we use eco-friendly technique to make sure that urban farming gets to people. We mentor people on farming, we give farm inputs, and we hold workshops regularly. Next slide. Next slide. These are some of what we have done. In Akopa 2 weeks ago, we sent our seedlings to the church through their empowerment system as well. We distributed 104 seedlings that day of habanero plants. These plants will be due for harvest by Christmas and early January. People are planting. So we're happy to have that family join us. We also have rabbits that are hot for sale. If you're interested too, trainings are available. We are also into poultry. Poultry is one source where within 6 weeks you have a turnover, all right? Even processed chicken, live big chicken. I have chicken in the farm now that we are selling for 24,000. They are very heavy. In fact, when you go for harvest or Thanksgiving, you feel proud that you are coming before the Lord with something viable. Now, we also have irrigation systems we run here in Port Harcourt. We can help you set up your farm in a way that that farm, even in dry season, you will keep producing something. Irrigation for yam, irrigation for plantain, any plant at all, we irrigate. These 276 stands of hot pepper we pioneered recently in our raised bed farm system. We are awaiting harvest. They are doing very well. Yesterday, here in Port Harcourt, we went to a very big estate where the owner of the compound said that he wants to buy our edible horticulture system. So he removed flowers from his flower pots, that's the lawn, and replaced them with what you have seen there. We did that yesterday. It's fully irrigated. So he's assured, in fact, January he said he will be selling pepper, you know. The next slide. So, to my conclusion, we can see the picture. We have seen this on Facebook. This man has thought of everything possible he can do to make money, extra money. What is left, what he's considering now, is to even open a police station, which we know is not possible. That is the state that most of us are today. We don't know what else to do. But instead of thinking of opening a police station, please come and join us. Urban farming is practical, is sustainable. Thank you. Thank you.
Urban farming is practical, it is sustainable. All right, thank you. Questions we'll just entertain 3 questions, please. Just three, so we can leave here. So we'll give to Engineer Sylvester, Olaseni, One hand is there. We have not recognized that place since. Let me
Thank you.
take the first. Okay, let's take Williams. Sir Williams, Adele. Don't worry, bring your hand down. Thank you.
I observed one thing, sir. I'm interested in farming. And yesterday I bought a puppy for 120,000. A German Shepherd puppy. You didn't mention dogs. Now, I noticed that mangoes in Port Harcourt are no longer working. Do you have any solution for that? Have you seen any mango fruiting in Port Harcourt in the last 3 years? I have one in my compound. When it started fruiting, the first year it started, we had like 7 mangoes. Very beautiful. Second year, we had 2. For the past 3 years, no fruit. And I've looked around compounds that have mangoes. They don't fruit. So I don't know whether I've noticed it.
Thank you, my Assistant President. Joseph Olasheni is my name. I'm from St. Nicholas Anglican Church, Woji. I listened attentively to your lecture because of the interest I have in it, even before you started. But there's something fundamentally omitted, either deliberately or not, I don't know, but which I think is very important for me. And that is, in all this your very beautiful presentation, you didn't give us costs. Like chicken, whatever you call it, how much do you think the minimum capital that we need to start? Just, there's no cost attached to any of these operations. Please, I don't know whether it's deliberate or whether you post it on a platform or whatever. Thank you very much, sir.
I am William Sadele. I just want to know if it is possible to get the slide that you just did there. You know, anybody who wants to read more can read more on that. If it is possible, we'll get it. Your slide.
Men of exploit. Thank you, Engineer Sylvester. Fruiting is one big challenge that farmers have. And fundamental to fruiting issue is potassium deficiency, phosphorus deficiency. Yes, phosphorus deficiency. So you can get phosphorus-bearing compound if you are doing organic. And phosphorus-bearing compounds, the peels of banana has a lot of phosphorus. All right, so you can sort of decompose them for a week, adding a little soil to it, cover in a container. Then after that, you feed to the plant. But remember that the heat of decomposition can destroy your plant. So always give about, for big trees, okay, like mango, you can give a space of a foot from the stem so that it doesn't burn up. Okay, phosphorus-bearing compound. You can also get single action phosphorus fertilizer.
Sorry, sir. Please let him consult you after now for those personal decisions so that we can make progress, sir.
Okay.
Just, sir, you can reach out to him after now. And thank you very much. So, please, the next question, please.
Okay, so the next question is cost for starting up. The most expensive item for startup in terms of cost is not affordable. That is motivation. The zeal to start is difficult. You can't buy it in the market. So, but you can start. To start is easy. It may not even cost you money. It may mean picking a bag of cement and filling it up with sand, and you have started urban farming. But we have left, in fact, the DS, the Assistant Secretary, has the WhatsApp platform, our training platform for the GoJet farm, all right, where we'll discuss more, because the scope of our talk today is very narrow, that we cannot exhaust urban farming. So we have, for the purpose of this, made a WhatsApp platform where anybody that is interested in urban farming can come in, all right, and we discuss. Some of our trainings are paid trainings, you know, in that way you go in depth, but we have a lot of free trainings. We have also shared with the DS the lecture material that I have presented. The Dcmf has subsidized it. Those lecture materials are 5,000 naira per person, you know, but the Dcmf has already covered it. So it's going to be provided free for everyone. Once more, I thank the DP for the opportunity given us to do this enlightenment. And as a public health physician, is very dear to me because we are treating a lot of illness, but the illnesses are brought about by hunger and deficiencies in nutrients. Please help us to fight this menace. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Please permit me to invite my brother Bob Kennedy Echendu to give us a 1-minute vote of thanks, please. 1 minute, sir.
Men of exploit. On behalf of the Dcmf, we say a big thank you to the organizers of Goje Farms. Thank you for your wonderful exposition of the truth. Some of us will go home to start more than what we are doing. While you were talking about urban farming, we were there also thinking that life will change if we implement what we have heard today. We say that God will continue to strengthen you as you go about preaching about food security, which is a major menace challenging our society. On behalf of the Dcmf, we say thank you and God bless you in Jesus' name.
Amen. All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We are supposed to have finance, but please, I'll plead with all of us. We can't have that finance now. We said that we need to look at the financial records, look at those who are owing, and then those who are not